What's up, Credit Fam? You got your boy Gary B here. Hey, I want to welcome you to this show. Today is Sunday, July 31st, y'all. We got another month down. We are almost there, y'all. So today is going to be kind of different. I'm going to have some tips for you, but I'm going to break my show down a little different today, okay? And I hope y'all enjoy it because today we're going to talk about the host. We're going to talk about who I am. And I want y'all to know that I'm a real person. I never really broke my life down like this before on a show, but I promised a few episodes back, and I hope y'all are watching my episodes. I mean, listening to my episodes, excuse me. Watching if you over on YouTube, but listening if you are on all your favorite podcast stations. But at the same time, I want y'all to know that I'm real, and everything I'm saying is coming from my heart. So if y'all rocking with me, sit back, enjoy yourself, and I want you to get to know the real me because I want to get to know the real you. So let's make this happen, y'all. I'll be right back. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show, Mentally Financial. On my show, I talk about ways to deal with financial stress. I do this every Sunday night at 9 p.m. So come on in, kick back, and just relax. Take a deep breath and let go of all of your financial stress. I want you to chill with me, Gary B. I'll be right back. Welcome back, Credit Fam. Hey, like I told you, today's show topic is the host, the real me. So today we're gonna get into the weeds of it. All right, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna talk about a conversation that I had with my 25-year-old daughter today, and we're just gonna get real with it. Okay. When I was talking to her today, we went through a few things because she's going through some stuff. She's not a bad child. She's a good woman. I mean, hey, she's 25. She's a woman. But she came to me and she said she's not feeling this and she's not feeling that. So we sat down and we was on the phone and we was talking about a few things. And see, sometimes she feels like I'm assuming that she thinks nobody loves her. Um, but at the same time, I think she's trying to find something within herself, or she don't think that the ones around her are seeing it. Um, she's in a situation with a good friend of hers, and I'm not going to get into the weeds of what she's going through, but she's going through some stuff, and I know there's a lot of you out there that's in your 20s. Like her, and then you think the world's against you, you think your parents are against you, you think your friends are against you, and I think that's what she's really going through. She's not really happy with her job. She wants to do bigger and better things, but her car done broke down on her. Her living situation is kind of crazy, you know. And then the friend thing, you know what I'm saying? Then you put the friend thing on top of that, and I truly understand what she's going through, and and she's trying to get herself right. So she calls me every other day or so just to get stuff off her chest, and and we talk about it. Now I will say this: she has talked about self harm before, so I told her, hey baby, you might think taking your life is going to make it better for you, but you're forgetting about the people that really do care about you or love you. It's going to make it bad for them, you know. Um, but I'm not saying to anybody out there that think about somebody else before you think about yourself. That's the main purpose of that statement. Think about yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Because you don't know what the other side is like. We all sit here and say, hey, if I die today, things might be better. How do we know? You know what I'm saying? Well, don't nobody know what death is like, real death. I've been dead for a year and come back and tell us. We're not talking about die on the operating table or die in an accident and they bring you back to life and you seen the light and all that good stuff. We're not talking about that kind of death. I'm talking about somebody we done put in the ground. They've been in there for a while, and then they come back and say, oh yeah, this and that and this happened and that happened. See, that's what I want to know. So being that I know a lot of us don't know that part of life, I tell her, you don't know if it's greener on the other side if you hurt yourself like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't know how it's going to make us feel, the living. So that's what that statement was more about. So while we was doing that, and I know a lot of you might say, hey, you talk to us about counseling and you talk to us about this and that. Yes, I talk to her about that too. You know what I'm saying? I tell her she needs to go to a therapist. She needs to talk to somebody. But she's that person like I used to be when I first started going to therapy. These people don't know me. They don't know nothing about me. They're not going to understand my pain and my fears and my concerns. But I had to try to break it down to her and tell her that no, nobody knows your pain. Nobody knows your fears. Nobody knows your intentions in life. But going and opening up and talking to somebody about them, allowing them to close their eyes and take in everything you say. Because sometimes when a person is looking from the outside, looking in, they may see things that you do not see. May they be good or bad, so you don't want to listen to everybody. But that person who is truly there to try to help you and not take no money from you and not try to gain anything from it, that person, you might want to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm saying with that, I'm telling her, please try counseling. It ain't gonna hurt, especially if it's free. It's not gonna hurt. If you feel uncomfortable sometime talking to me as your father or talking to your mom or your siblings because we're, within your, your circle, go to somebody else that you feel real comfortable with and talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Be real with them. See what they're about. So I went on to say, with all that, so for y'all who didn't think I asked her about counseling or told her about counseling, I did. But to make a long story short, what I did was I broke it down for her. Because see, in her mind, she only knows the person I am now. She don't know the person that I was before she was born. You know what I'm saying? So, and then up to now. So she don't know that person. She knows little bits and pieces. She's heard stuff. But I actually really broke it down to her today. And that's what I'm about to do for y'all. Y'all are about to step into my life from your side of this podcast, okay? So this is going to be me being very transparent and very real with y'all, okay? So the things I'm going to say, I'm not glorifying them. I'm not saying that they was cool. I'm not saying that they was wrong, right, whatever. I'm not putting any labels on them, okay? I'm just going to tell you who I was and what I did as I grew up, all right? And pretty much I also wanted her to understand that I was about 30 or 31 before I became the person I am today. You know what I'm saying? So you think about it. If I was 30 or 31, you being 25, baby, you can do this. You can keep going. You see how long it took me? It took me 30 to 31 years possibly to get my life the where I am at right now. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at right now. So don't think just because you're 25 that your world is over. Oh no. So with that being said, let's jump on in it, okay? Now, for a lot of you who grew up through the years, I know you heard of Oprah, you heard of Dr. Phil, but a few of you listening to my show might not know Donahue. and that just makes me laugh because it lets me know that I am the age I am. I'm 53 for the ones who are just listening to my show for the first time, or those of you who've been listening to my show and never really knew how old I was. But I'm 53 years old. I'm a Sagittarian, born December 14th, 1968. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. My father was a Baltimore City police officer. He left Baltimore, moved to Georgia, went into the military, did his thing, retired from the military, and now I'm here. But anyway, so that's my humble beginnings. December 14th, 1968, 5:32 a.m., Sinai Hospital, Baltimore, Maryland. Me, Gary Benjamin Rome Jr. was born. So I was telling her all that, just to joke with her. And then the Donahue thing, those are just, I just wanted her to let her know and let y'all know that I'm not no Dr. Phil. I ain't no therapist. I ain't no Oprah. I ain't trying to be no show host. And Donahue was a show host too. He did the same thing that the other two did. No, this ain't no Maury. This ain't nothing. This is real life. My show is more just to give you tips to help you deal with life. You know what I'm saying? To help you deal with financial stress. That's all I'm here for. I ain't trying to give you no therapy. I ain't trying to be your doctor. I ain't trying to be your counselor. I want to be that friend that educates you and helps you get over these little humps. Because I done went up through them same humps, okay? Um, so I told her that, I went on and said, I did dumb things in my life. And to let y'all know, yes, I'm a high school dropout. I'm not ashamed of it. I am a high school dropout. I dropped out in the ninth grade, okay? Because, during that time, I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought I was smarter than the teachers. You know, hey, I'm that young, dumb, full of that stuff that a lot of men carry in their testosterone levels, keep their testosterone levels up. So I was young and dumb. I thought I was smarter than the teachers. I was an athlete. I loved playing football. I ran track. But it seems like all I went to school for was gym, athletics, and eat. I didn't care about the classes. You know what I'm saying? I'm smart. I don't need none of that bull crap. So what I did, I dropped out of high school. Well, I went on to Job Corps. I did go to Job Corps. And for y'all who don't know what Job Corps is a specialized program that teaches you like a vocational skill. Some schools today have a vocational school and a regular high school. Well, think about it that way. Job Corps is nothing other than a federally funded program that you can send a 16-year-old. Now you can send 16 to 24. But at the time I was in, I think it was 18. But anyway, you go there, you learn a trade, you get your high school diploma, you get your GED, whichever one you get, plus you get a skill. And then they, try to place you into a job and things like that. So I went to Job Corps. So that was my first, real life experience away from the home, doing my own thing, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I went to Job Corps. I graduated from Job Corps in, 1988. And I went into the military. I got my GED while I was at Job Corps. Like I said, I wasn't dumb. I just didn't want to do the work. So when I was in Job Corps, I went and took the little GED test, passed it the first time. Hey, thought I was on top of the world. Went and talked to a military recruiter. At that time, I went into the United States Coast Guard. I was a Coast Guardsman, and I loved it. I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. It was pretty good, but once again, my attitude, my tolerance of not understanding people, get me in a little bit of trouble. I was stationed in New Orleans. Hey, a party town. I'm 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? A party town. I got a little bit of money in my pocket. I thought I was on top of the world. That ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? The military is the military. But I didn't look at it that way because I had a father that was in the military. Can't nobody be harder than my father was. You know what I'm saying? In my mind. So I didn't care what these people said. So hey, there was times that I went to work when I got ready, thinking I'm running things. Went to work when I got ready, wore the uniform that I wanted to wear, and I just didn't care. I honestly did not care for some reason. So I was in the Coast Guard for about 2 years. So what? That put me at 20, 21, maybe possibly 22. So technically, I was young and dumb. And I'm thinking I'm running the world. I had a little piece of money in my pocket. But I'm going to tell y'all, I wasn't financially responsible because if I don't know if it's still there, because I know, New Orleans had that big hurricane and it tore a lot of stuff up. But there was a time when you could walk into PX and see a big old board on the wall. They had a big board on the wall. Do not take checks from these people. And my name was up on the board. Believe me. I thought checks at that time, because I didn't know money, I thought checks were money. I thought I was a millionaire. When you gave me this book of checks, I thought this meant I had a lot of money because you gave me so many checks. It ain't like you gave me one or two. You gave me a whole book of them. So in my mind, I was a millionaire. I didn't know that the money had to match the book you gave me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there writing checks and doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. But anyway, life went on. I did the things that I did, and I didn't get put out the military. But if anybody been in the Navy or the Coast Guard, we went to what is called a captain's mast. And if you're in the Army or any other service, it might be a court martial. and in the real world, it's a courtroom. So I went to the captain's mast. The captain, who is a colonel, asked me, "Hey, do you want to really be in the military?" And I kind of looked at him and said, "No, I don't. I don't want to be in the military no more. Y'all, I'm blaming everything on them. Now, mind you, it's really me that was the problem. It wasn't them. They never did nothing to me. But I let things in my personal life dictate my military life. So when he asked me that question, I told him, no, I don't want to be in no more. Boom. They let me go. You know what I'm saying? I was on a 4-year contract, I think, and it was only like 2 years in. So they cut my contract. I did get an honorable discharge, but at that time, I didn't know what I know now. That the RE code at the bottom of that 214 DD 214, at the bottom of that DD 214, there's something called an RE code. The RE code stands for Reenlistment Code. The best code to have is a 1. 1 mean you good across the board. 2, hey, he or she did something, but hey, we still take them. But 3 and 4 and 5 or whatever after that, you got to get waivers and people don't want to mess with you. Put it like this: mine said RE4, and then I read into it because I really, like I said, I didn't know nothing about it. When I tried to go back into the military is when I realized what that meant. They said your RE code is 4, Mr. Round, and I was like, okay, what that mean? He said, well, read that statement down the bottom. And I tell you right now, I didn't even read the statement at the bottom. It said unsuitable for military life. That's what that RE code stated, for the Coast Guard at least. It said unsuitable for military life. I'm like, wow. So I screwed myself. They didn't screw me. I screwed myself. So this is what I'm telling her. I'm telling her my story. And so I get out of the military. Now I become a nomad. And this is no disrespect to any nomads out there. I became a nomad. I mean, I traveled from Georgia to Florida to New Orleans. And I'm like, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I'm telling you, I was just out there. I was out there. I mean, it got so bad that I started living in a friend of mine's closet. I started living in a friend of mine's closet. And then that's when things went awry. And I had to tell her this part that I am not ashamed of now because I can deal with it. I found out when I was in the military I was bipolar. So during those years back in the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s, they was dealing with the AIDS epidemic. So it wasn't a real big thing that they could deal with when it came to other illnesses and things like that. And the military wasn't tolerating it anyway. But that's when I found out I was bipolar. And with that part being said, and me getting out of the military and me becoming a nomad, this is what happened. I tried to kill myself. I've tried to kill myself several times. And I can joke about it now, but I'm not saying it in y'all's ears as a joke. I want y'all to understand the sentiment and the statement. I don't take suicide as a joke at all. Suicide is real. Mental illness is real. At that time I was going through this, I was feeling as low as dirt. I was below dirt, okay? So I didn't understand life at that time. But anyway, so I tried to kill myself a few times. You see, I'm still sitting here. So the joke in my mind, I wasn't good at what I was doing. Because, you think about it. If you really want to kill yourself, you can kill yourself. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If a person really wanted to die, they can kill themselves. So I realized it was a cry for help for me. That's all it really was. Because think about it. You don't know this, but I'm going to tell you. I would call people and tell them I'm about to kill myself. So what is that telling you? That's letting you know that you want somebody to know you hurting. That you want somebody to know that you really feeling bad. And you need somebody to come and grab you and get you and shake you and get you right. I realize that now. That's what I was doing. Because think about it. If somebody wanted to kill themselves, they won't tell nobody. They'll just do it and hope somebody finds them. So, once again, to anybody out there who might be thinking about suicide, who might be thinking about hurting themselves in any form or fashion, gun, pills, cars, whatever, because there's plenty of ways to do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It really, really isn't. So, with that being said, I want y'all, all my listeners, to think about this. If you get to that point where you're thinking about doing it, please just take 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and breathe and call 988. Once again, call 988 and ask for help. And an alternative number to that is my number. My number is 706 222 1987. If you cannot find nobody to talk to within your circle, call one of those two numbers and I got you. They got you. We got you as a family. That's how real I am.
I know you might be feeling suicidal. Your money problems may seem overwhelming and permanent right now, but with time, things will get better. Your outlook will change, especially if you get help. There are many people who want to support you during this difficult time, so please reach out. Dial 988 if you're feeling bad. This is Gary B. Peace.
Okay. Then I told her about the times I went to jail. Yes, a brother went to jail. I'm definitely laughing about that one because I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I'm just a person who was a butthole. I know you're not supposed to be driving with no insurance. I know you're not supposed to be driving on a suspended license. But hey, what do we all say sometimes? Hey, it's legal until they catch me. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us do it every day. We drive a car that ain't got no insurance, ain't got no registration. We ain't got no license. The license suspended or whatever it might be. We all do it. We all get out there and take that chance. You know what I'm saying? And that was me. I took that chance. I got out there and rode around and being in Atlanta during that time, they did a lot of roadblocks. I don't know why they don't do them now compared to then, but I'm telling you, back during the Freakniks, back in the 90s, man, Atlanta did a lot of roadblocks. And I would always get caught up in one. And you know you can't turn around when you see it because they're going to come get you anyway. So I tried to be slick a few times, but they got me. And let me tell y'all, I went to jail 6 times. I've been in every jail in the Atlanta area. Now, I'm not. There's only one. There's only 2 jails in Fulton County. That's Rice Street, and it was pre-trial at the time. I don't know if it's still that way now, but it was pre-trial and it was Rice Street. That was the only 2 in Fulton County. I got caught out in DeKalb County, in the city of Decatur. I got caught out in what is that? Not Stone Mountain, but it was Riverdale. I was out in Riverdale, Clayton County. Been out to Lovejoy. I was Bartow County, up in Cartersville. I'm telling y'all, I know the system. I know the system out there. So I had to get myself right. I'm telling you. I'm to the point now, put it like this. They had, at that time, because I'm a lot better now, they called me an habitual offender. When I went to court, the judge said, Mr. Rohn, you are an habitual offender. So what does that mean? You got to get that special insurance, that SR22. So I know a lot of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. When it comes to that SR22, you can't do nothing without it. You cannot get your license reinstated. You can't get no other insurance without it. So that SR22 is what I get. So I'm telling you, bro, and ladies, I've been there. So all I'm trying to tell her is, I was 30 or 31 when I got my life together. I was doing all of that when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, my mid 20s. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, I moved from New Orleans, which was a party city. I lived in Miami, which was a party city, and then boom, moved to Atlanta, which is a party city. So I was in those party cities, or even Houston, Texas. I was in Houston for a while, party city. So I'm telling her, I done been there. I done done it. I know I'm a guy and you a female, and times are different now because yes, I didn't have all the technology we got down. I didn't have it then. So all the shit that, excuse me, the stuff that I went through, yeah, it's totally different almost in a sense for what you went through. But the pain, the hurt is real. That ain't got an age on it. That ain't got a time, a year on it and all that. That's real. So that's the kind of stuff I was trying to tell her in my life so she could understand that you're not by yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's other people out here dealing with the same thing. So I told her, first, we must love life. We gotta love life. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't love life, you might as well give up. You know what I'm saying? You might as well call it quits. You know what I'm saying? Don't let somebody else dictate what your life should be or how you should feel about life. You have to love life. You know what I'm saying? And then the next thing, I had God to get me back on track. And I'm not saying that y'all, my listeners, have to believe in God. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she believes in God, to be honest with you, but have something to believe in. Whatever you believe wakes you up every day, please believe in that. Because something is getting you around. Something is waking you up. Something is keeping you going. And if that's what it is, whatever you want to call it, I might call mine God, Jesus, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I am. Now, I'm not a church going person because I don't believe I have to go into a building to worship God. Okay? I read the Bible for myself. I interpret it the way I think He wants me to interpret it, or he or she, or the entity wants me to interpret it. And I live a godly way. I make mistakes. I'm human. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I still sin. You know, I'm not the perfect person and never will be. Okay? So y'all have to understand that. You never will be the perfect person. You're only going to be who you are. So you have to keep believing in yourself and keep going. Okay? I just wanted to be real with her and let her know that we all go through this. We all go through these things. But we have to fight to be better. You know what I'm saying? We have to fight to be better for ourselves. I never believed that someone, can keep me down. You know what I'm saying? I can only keep myself down. Nobody else can keep me down but me. So that was my mindset. You ain't going to keep me down. I'm going to do what I got to do. So that takes me to the point where I said this to her. Who told me to quit school? Me. I told her, who told me to quit the military or leave the military? Me. That's what you are. You are your own worst enemy. That's what we are. We are our own enemies. Okay? So let's stop being our own enemies and let's start living a better life. So, in closing, y'all, I'm going to end the show with this. In closing, here are my 5 tips for this week's show. Tip number 1, love and believe in yourself. Hear me now. Love and believe in yourself. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, no one can stop you but you. Tip number 2, no one can stop you but you. Tip number 3, if something happens, move on no matter how hard you think it might be. Tip number 3, if something happens, move on no matter how hard you think it might be. Please. Tip number 4, if someone is looking from the outside in and you say to yourself that they don't know your pain, so they cannot say anything about you, well, remember this. You don't know what they've been through either. Think about it now. You got somebody looking in from the outside, so we only can see what you show us. So I'm only going to tell you what I see. Okay? But some of us can see things that we can't see ourselves. That's tip number 4. And the final tip of the show. Want better, do better, get better. That's life. So, with that being said, want better, do better, get better. And that's a life, okay? For you first. Get this together for you first, then your family and friends. All right, baby? All right, y'all. Until the next show, I want to thank you. Y'all have been, my numbers have been going up. Thank y'all for listening. Keep sharing. Please comment. Please review. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I can bring you. Let me know what you're going through so I can do the research and get answers for you. I want to give y'all the best tips of everything that's out there, okay? So you got to help me with this show. I'm trying to give y'all what I want to give you. So help me create it. And with that being said, I want to say I love you. Hey, until the next show, I'll see you next week. God bless. I'm out. Thank you for checking out this episode. I would like for you to drop a comment and questions for me so I can get back at you. Subscribe to my show on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. I'll see you every Sunday, 9 p.m. for Mentally Financial. I'm your host, Gary B. Peace.